The following is a presentation of MRE UNO Division 2. Alright, we are back, and we have our second streamed match here, and what is ending up to be a triple header at the moment here for the league. We have matches going on in the East Wind, West Wind, and now in this stream match, the South Wind Regional here. As we continue this very packed night slate here. Hello everyone, and welcome to the stream. It's going to be our second stream of the night, and it's going to be the South Wind Regional. We have number 6 Orochi taking on number 14 SyntaxError102 in both players' first streams of their career. Both players are off to pretty good starts here. Syntax in their first tournament already up to 2-0 with a play-in win and a big upset win over Bree. Orochi already up to 3-1, had a good tournament 1 debut and won their opening round against Foils to now make it here into the round of 32 once again. So this is going to be a matchup between two people players who could end up being contenders as go for the season. Syntax looking for his third win, Orochi looking for their fourth. For both going at it here in Mahjong March in the round of 32, but both off to good starts here early and could be playoff contenders depending on how the rest of the season goes here. But hopefully should be a good match. We'll see how both do. Bring it to you live here on the YouTube channel here, but before we get into it, let's take a look at the South Wind regional bracket here, and this is a region that is moving by very quickly here. Already have 2 of the matches done. Scars and Tricolor have already played. Scars played yesterday. Tricolor played. No, I mixed it up. Scars played on the first day of the round 2 days ago, and then Tricolor and Knight played yesterday. Starting it off, Scars takes down Sportsboy 4-2 in what was a competitive match at first, and then Scars kind of ran away with it on the cards. Scars moves on to the round of 16, really breaking the trend from last season where he went winless after tournament 1. Already has 2 wins in the bag here, and he's really looking to be one of the contenders this season, as he is already up to 4 wins relatively quickly this season. And on the top side, we have Tricolor, who took down Nightwalker 4-1. Decently quick match on that one there. Tricolor kind of ran through the cards on that one. Nightwalker, unfortunate end for his return. He'll be looking to come back stronger in tournament 3, but a decent start for him as he does come away with a win on the board. But we got Syntax and Orochi up next. The winner of this will face Scars in the next round here. Scars highest seed left in the region. So winner of this will have the away game against Scars to try to make it into the Baimon 8 and aka the regional finals. But then after this tomorrow at 3:30 we have Blue and Rajon, which will wrap up the South Wind Regional for the MANGAN 32. Blue, one of the 2 16 seeds to make it to this round here, looking to go on a bit of a run similar to Devin. Had to beat Sky 4-3 to get here, and then Rajon with a very close 4-3 win over Ryder. Rajon, one of the rookies that was pretty hyped up going to their debut in tournament 1, had an okay showing there, looking to make it past the round 32. This time Blue really kind of running the momentum here, lost the play in tournament 1 and now has 2 wins under the belt here, could make it to the round of 16 for the very first time. We'll see who gets it done between 2 players in their first season of MRE UNO. But we'll see how this one plays out. Orochi Syntax looking to claim the 3rd spot of 4 for the Southwind Regional Bracket semifinals. But we'll just jump into this one here with the overlay here, and joining me on stream with I would be really be his commentary debut here officially. It's gonna be Cyan, Cody Smart, a lot of man of many names, Savage Titan, Cyan Titan, Cody Smart, Skip Bayless, I guess. A lot of names there, but Cyan, welcome to the stream here. We got 2 players in their first season, Syntax in their first tournament, Orochi in his second here, both going at it here. Both players with some good hype going into this one here. Both have a few wins under the belt here. Syntax competing for debuting in the tournament here at the moment. Orochi looking for their 4th win of the season and making it the back-to-back round of 16s. Just kind of your thoughts heading into this one here. what you're expecting. Both players really bringing a different kind of vibe to this one here as they both try to get the win here, make it to the round 16.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you, G. I mean, Orochi is probably one of the most analytical players I have seen in quite a while here in D2. I mean, last time I seen the player as such, I mean, background character, and we saw how successful background was. So seeing how Orochi is at a similar mindset in an analytical sense as background, I think Orochi will have a very good shot here, but I feel like this could be a trap game, and it's a good trap game because we've seen Syntax in his debut so far managed to pull a crazy upset, even though he did receive some circumstances from the other player that I'm not going to mention here. But regardless, though, great job by Syntax in their debut. We'll see what he does against somebody who has the analytical edge and see if he can pull another upset. Maybe make a deep run to go for what you said, debut on the tournament. Very well could happen.
I think you will see how this one goes. We'll get a quick word from both players before we start. Starting with Orochi, who's the higher seed. Orochi, first stream, definitely have been a player who has had some hype around him going into the season. Not necessarily because of the table style, but more just kind of the approach. Definitely very different than what we've seen from past players here. You're already at 3 wins on the season here. Looking for your fourth, going up against Syntax, who is making their first tournament run here. Just kind of your thoughts going into this one, especially with this being your first stream match, and just kind of how you're feeling going into this one with what your approach is going to be. And I see Orochi typing here, so we'll get his quick thoughts here, and then we'll get Syntax's thoughts, and then we'll get this one going here. I will mention this is a triple header right now. I will mention again, this is a triple header right now, so East Wind and West Wind are going as well. We might have some slight updates for you on how those are going as we go along, but Rune Apollo underway in the East Wind Regional, and then DeLemon and Dan underway in the West Wind Regional. Yeah, we'll see how Orochi responds here. Um, Taking a bit. I think just kind of the keep it moving. The Orochi can still type here. Okay, never mind. All I'll say is I cannot wait to get unplayable cards. So Orochi, not anticipating a great hand here. So, we'll see if that ends up happening. But Orochi not looking too optimistic, going into this. But Syntax, over to you. You're off to a pretty good start in your debut here. 2 wins, including a win over Telna, not Bree. Made a mistake there in the opening, but you now go up against Orochi, who's got a few wins under his belt here. Definitely a very quality player this season. Your thoughts heading into this one, and just kind of how your run's been so far, and what you've been taking from your past 2 wins going into this match tonight.
Um, One thing I'll take away from my first 2 wins is luck does play a factor in your success, and I got very lucky against Helena, I'd say, and I'm just hoping that my luck can continue and that I make less errors in my play this time around because I did make a few mistakes against Helena that I did not get punished for, luckily, and I know Orochi's very analytical and stuff, and I'm just gonna try to play my best Uno.
All right, well, we'll see how this one goes, but we'll get this one rolling here. Enough waiting around. Orochi's gonna go with 15 to start this one. Orochi does like these high tier cards here, so do expect him to run that down throughout this series here as we start with the full send. But we are gonna get good things going, and we are underway here with the green 8. I do expect this one to be a decently long series, not necessarily super long, but decently long. Orochi usually likes a bit of a slower pace here. Syntax kind of goes with the flow on this one, so we'll see how this one plays out. But starting off with the full send of game 1.
Yeah. Yeah, and I gotta say here, I mean, I have seen players like to slow down, think about the cards, gives them more of an opportunity to check in their composure every now and then, because this is a good training grounds for D2 to do so, because I tell you, once you get into more advanced competition, especially in later rounds, composure means everything. So at the start of games, just look at your hand, come up with a plan, then just get started, and if lucky enough, maybe just beat your opponent into their plan A, make them struggle, make them wiggle around a little bit. So it's really interesting whenever they start and see what the first move of the game is going to be, G, because it really could be anything here.
Roshi usually takes his time to just kind of look through the hand here. Usually just kind of wants to plan his way through the game on the start, and then just kind of regroup when something changes. But gonna open up with the green 9 to start.
Yep. Play it calm and
And switch the blue, so Syntax not wanting that green early on.
We'll see if that's a fade or not. Because high tier, you may have a variety. Either you have all 4 colors near even, or you may have some sort of chain that you want to save for later. Dead ends is always something to consider. And I know I've had my fair share of dead ends with a bunch of colors, especially on the lower tiers. Like, which color do I prefer to go first? So, possibly studying their paths for right now to try to pick and go as we continue on in this slow-paced game so far.
Alright, Orochi gonna go with the blue 3 here. Just kind of rolling with the blue for now. Syntax will do the same.
So far, so good. Up! There it is! Chicad Voiles!
Yeah, there's the Voiles 2 there. Voiles our ref forgot to introduce that. I apologize. The Voiles gonna help us out with this one here. As we continue on to the blue here with a bit of a slower tempo here, both just kind of taking their time.
It may come useful, and I mean, I've seen some legends up in D1, you know, they pretty much do the same thing. They take the time, look at the cards. We even have some players in D2 that regularly do that. I mean, we've seen players with that type of playing style, they go very, very far with that type of strategy. Ooh, to Yellow G.
Rochi gonna go with the as he calls the narcissist play with playing his own card there, and Syntax gonna go back to blue.
Oh, dang! Usually we see this late in the game with the responses, but interesting to see this early. We'll see what Syntax can do with this later on.
Yeah. The nepotism play would have been required someone to have a kid in this league, which I think the only one possible would have been Mac. But I think we are quite a bit away from that happening. But anyways, Orochi got his turn now. Syntax switched back into blue. We'll see what he does now.
We'll see if that switch that failed to sustain might have been plan A burned, or does he still have something in his back pocket? 12 cards remaining apiece, a lot can happen.
Hiroshi's gonna draw on blue, so not anything for the moment here. In terms of the updates on the other games, Dan just went up 1-0 in the West Wind Regional, and then the East Wind, I believe I saw. I think Paulo was up 1-0. I want to say. No, it was Rune. Rune was up 1-0. But Syntax continue on the blue for the moment.
Yep, planning the ISO Orochi early here. Either number efficiency, or if he wants to pull out a crazy card here, he could as well. Plenty of options early on.
Roshi taking a second to load up here, maybe looking for a switch. And he will get it with the red 6.
There it is. And Pandora's box is open early.
Alright, red 6 got the Ditto play there on that one there. First Ditto of the series. We had this earlier in the prior stream, Ninja Jax call it a snap, so that's his terminology for it. But
as I just saw East Wind, we are now tied. Apollo just picked up a quick one from Rune. Now going to Apollo's homestand.
yeah, I do expect the East Wind match to be pretty quick. I feel like the West Wind one is going to probably be a similar pace to this one. Dilemma usually likes kind of in a similar, kind of like doing a similar pace as Orochi. But
yeah,
we'll see how this one fares.
We've seen other players before, both in D2 and D1, including D2 last year. We've had a couple of slow-paced players have massive success last season as well. So we'll see how that pans out. I mean, I love a comeback story. We'll see how the Lemon does with that later.
Syntax hoping this is not Livina versus the Lemon. That game went about 2 hours, so.
Oh goodness me! If this goes for 2 hours, especially for a best of 7, we could be at Fitzy J Money territory. I remember how that one went.
That one is not necessarily a compliment. But we will see how this one goes as we're getting close to 7 minutes for the opening game here. 2 hours is rookie numbers, which is yeah, that's not a bar you're trying to reach, to be fair.
Yeah, and I mean, and I almost managed to reach it happy in Fairy Tale February. Good freaking grief! Yeah.
Well, both are drawing now on the red, so both stuck
Draw
with
steady, here we come.
both are actually stuck with a pretty high amount of cards here. Syntax at 10, Orochi at 12, so it's actually kind of an early draw for both here.
Meanwhile, look at Eastwind again. Rune picked up game 3 in a minute and a half.
Yep.
Man.
I do recall that one happening before. Definitely a lot of comments on that one.
Oh
But,
Lord, yeah.
Well, the
Yeah,
goal is
about
to not
that
try.
one.
Yeah, the goal is to not try and go long per se. But if you need a little time, it's all good because definitely there's points where you definitely want to think through it.
Yeah.
And Syntax strong again. Both are stuck on the red here, so not much movement for the moment.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. Uh-oh. Meanwhile in Eastwind, something tells me Rune's about to get the match point. Play the wild and then said sorry.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, again, I was figuring the Eastwind was gonna go pretty fast here, 3-1 rune already.
Good freaking grief. We might be done with that series before we even get done with game 1.
There's a possibility here. Both playing a little quicker now though, but Orochi with the red 7.
Top decks might be starting up here. Nothing too big just yet. Maybe saving those big guys towards the end.
Still no plays from Syntax here. I mean, it's gonna be definitely a tough start here for both. Whenever we get that switch though, it's looking like a 3-color game. Orochi continues the draw.
Yeah, there has only been 1 card played on yellow and 2 on green, so this could very well be either a 2 or 3 color game, to a sense.
And Syntax is gonna go for a wild here. Does not want any more of the draw city, and it's gonna break it.
Valid choice. Absolutely valid choice, especially if you have a big move saved up. There you go.
We'll see. But that's gonna free things up a little bit here. Question will be, what does Orochi do now? He was kind of settling in with the draws, and now we're gonna look to see what he will do here. Gonna just go with the yellow 6.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I don't expect any crazy plays for a bit because I mean there's still a lot of cards that I don't expect like an 11 card finish or anything like that. I'm pretty stunned if that happened, but I think both are just kind of gonna play it cool for a bit.
Yeah. I mean, even if it's theoretically possible, even if it's theoretical, I also don't think that we would see anything more than a 6 card finish. I mean, we've seen insane finishes before on high tier. but they don't come too often. So basically, I mean, my point of interest right now is the wild that Syntax played a little bit ago. We'll see who that benefits later.
Alright, ditto play there on that one. Both still going with the yellow. Yeah, there we go. Now we have it set up.
Yeah, not over yet in East Wind, but good grief. I
Times
think
2 combo on
Rune
the
is
ditto there.
feeling pretty good. Yep, here we go again. Second ditto of the day. As thank you, Voyos, for the update. 12 minutes in. Holy cow.
Decently long opening game on this one, and neither is really close to a finish yet. Both are still at double-digit cards.
Yeah, at the rate where this is going, we better pray that it doesn't go to a reshuffle.
Yellow one from Orochi. Yeah, the blue one. So there's a switch in the blue now. Again, I feel like this is going to be a 3-color game here. I don't necessarily know if all the draws would have been true or not on the red, but I feel like in that situation, I think both were just kind of lacking there. So I would expect this to be 3-color here for at least the next few minutes. But both are really just kind of trying to find their way to the end. No one has really gotten close whatsoever so far.
We got a score update from Westwind. Dan now leads 2-0 going to their homestand. The Lemons can have some work to do if they want to come back.
Let's see, that's potentially an upset in the making here. Dan looking for another win. Rune is
And
looking to
we
call
may
game
have a
here.
match over
No.
in
Okay.
Eastwind. Never
Not quite.
mind. Potential match over. Certainly a check by Rune. No problem.
Yeah, Rune
As
looking
I'll be
to
watching.
wrap that one up there. That there we go. That's actually
Ooh,
no
big
Apollo's.
response
Wow.
by Apollo. Wow. So basically, before we go on to the Southwind stage, I'm basically gonna give like a slight analysis to what happened here, while the numbers keep going in Southwind. So Rune uses power play, go from red to green. That might have been a heat check, and that's what Apollo thought of, because the wild +4 and everything else might have been help from the power play, might have been help from anything else. Regardless, though, Apollo still alive in the series. Not over yet over there.
Yeah, that's gonna be a burnt power play from Rune also there, so he's gonna want that one back. But Orochi and Syntax gonna keep going. Both are just running numbers here. There really has not been a lot of ammo played so far. In general, I'm pretty sure only the wild has been played, and that was only Syntax's wild to get out of the draw city has been played. So no ammo to this point. Just been all numbers.
Yep. And we'll see if that eventually either helps or stings Syntax, as we might be going to a brief intermission here, as we might be needing at least 2 minutes. So to help Mr. Voiles out just a little bit, just in case we go longer. Up, you got the log. No, okay, give me a moment. All right, here's what I'll do to help you out. So this is the log. So if he takes any longer than 2 minutes or something like that, I mean, first of all, I'll pull back up the Uno log when he actually returns. Then we know exactly, yeah, how much to take off later. So there we go.
We're gonna switch to the while we wait. We're gonna switch to the Eastwind game here for the moment.
Yeah,
We'll
because
go
that
back. We'll
one's
go back to South.
getting.
Yeah.
Oh my word! +6 from Apollo. And just like that, Apollo to the point. 4 cards remaining, 1 power play, could tie it up to force a game 7.
Yeah, again, we'll go back to Southwind once we are back underway here, which I think we might be in a second. But both gonna draw here. And Orochi is now back here. We'll continue with the Southwind.
Oh, all
Just checking the log.
right. Don't.
Okay,
All right. Don't take any
-1.
time off. God, Grief. God,
No, Orochi has a
great!
huge run. He actually
You
okay.
gotta be kidding me!
Wow. Okay, so he didn't. The dog was a lie. He just wanted to set that one up.
my- Oh my word! I think I have multiple questions here. What do you think?
I need to just check how many cards that was. 1,
I think
2,
that was
3,
8
4, 5,
cards.
6, 7, 8. Yeah, that was an 8-card run there.
Woof.
No, he actually made a wait, no. +2 universe. Also, there's 3 Uno logs there.
Oh,
No, that would have
wait a
been
minute.
that's a 9-card run.
9-card run, not 8
Yeah.
card. He had all of that ammo. And that's what I was talking about, John City a little bit ago. Sometimes you just gotta save up the ammo and you basically go from there. So impressive result there from Orochi. I mean, I don't know if you want to ask any questions related to that, but
I was gonna ask Orochi where the cards came, but he kind of answered that one. Drew most of them in the draw city. Syntax mentioned the win in a few turns, but I don't think a few turns is gonna save him from that one there. I mean, that was a really great lineup there from Orochi, and I mean, again, no red, so yeah, I mean, the
yeah,
draw city on red I think was just true on both ends. Just no red in that game really. But yeah, I don't have a whole
yeah,
lot to say on that one. Just kind of a slower paced game, and Orochi kind of was able to kind of take advantage of that. And again, just had that made sure to line it up to prevent a potential defensive power play there. I'm not sure if Syntax would have gone for it in that moment, but always better to be safe than
yeah.
sorry.
It makes sense, that's for sure. I mean, it's a huge risk to burn your power play this early, but the only curious thing I have for Syntax is when he used that wild to get out of draw city. Like, did he want like my question to you, Syntax, if it's fine, that when you did use that wild, like did you use it to specifically get out of draw city, or did you have something lined up that you could have used later in the game?
I don't know if Syntax.
Did you ask me something?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was basically like I'll refer what I was talking about just a little earlier. So basically, when you basically use a wild right here. So what I'm curious about is why you decided to use it just to get out draw city, or did you have
Yeah.
something lined up
I
later in the
I
game?
mean, I had like 2 reverses, a skip, and 2 +2s that I was going to use in a little, but then I got 9 carded. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, that wall was just to get out of draw city.
Fair enough. But yeah, that absolutely sucks though. I mean, especially when we have a good chain like that and then just get toppled by something not so common here in the league. So great action card preservation on both sides. It just came down to who had the larger chain at the end of the game. It turned out it was Orochi. And guess what? He gets to pick again, G. Game 2.
Yep, he's gonna go to 14 here, and had that lineup perfectly. Looking for another lineup here, but I think also for Orochi, hoping, for a bit of better of a starting hand, because he did mention a lot of that was from the draws. His starting hand was not the best per se, so we'll see if we have actually in general better starting hand here. For this will come down to the draws again, because I think that one came down to the draws here for both players. The starting hand was kind of a little bit all over the place, but we start with game 2 here with 1 down, and it's going to open on on what we were on Draw City before with the red 7. Didn't see a lot of red in that game. Will we see some more in this one? We'll find out.
We'll wait and see as we got final score. Rune does beat Apollo 4-2 after a defensive struggle. Rune must have found the cards late to get it done. He'll be moving forward in the East Wind region. He'll be awaiting Dino or Sam, in which if Sam wins, that makes a pretty interesting UUT rivalry. So I would be very interested to see that should Sam win.
We'll see. I think for Rune, that's going to be a good win for him to get also, because that will make him pass his win total from last season. So Rune off to a good start so far, but based off the gift Orochi sent, maybe not a good sign for him to start this one out, but he's going to switch it to the blue.
Yeah. I mean, the big con with high tier is it's really a hit or miss, because if you have way too many plans or no plans at all, then you're pretty much in the gutter trying to find your way out.
All right, well. Orochi looking to load up another play here. Gonna go with the blue 7. Just kind of running it calmly. Syntax keeping it going on the blue here. Both just kind of running numbers so far.
Yep, so far, slightly faster pace, but they're starting to figure a couple of things out, and maybe, just maybe, might be able to have the chain to get it done.
Just gonna keep rolling on blue here. Nothing. Again, nothing too crazy. We didn't really see anything crazy until like the ending in the last game. It was mostly numbers, and then Rochi just came with that 9-card finish out of nowhere. So I wouldn't expect necessarily the exact same thing here, but this could be a similar sense where both do maybe have some ammo, but just want to kind of walk through it easy early, and then just kind of have that lineup where you kind of get that finish there. So we'll see. Both are just kind of keeping it cool on blue for the moment.
Yeah, we'll see how much longer
Oh,
we'll be
there you
able to do
go.
at blue, and we'll also
Okay.
see if on to red again.
That's an early swing from Syntax here. Going to use some ammo 5-card run, and we'll take the lead with that one.
Honestly, it makes sense because you're testing if it was a fade, or did Orochi have nothing on red at all, which would be unfortunate in that type of situation, especially for 14 cards. But hey, you know, fade or not, this really opens up the door for some action.
I think for Syntax, he's just got to. I mean, Syntax for him, obviously, it'd be unfortunate for Orochi, but for Syntax, he's trying to get anything he can. So I mean, if Orochi does draw, that ends up being a good call from Syntax here. But Orochi is gonna
Oh
stay. Okay,
boy!
gonna stay away from the red once again. He's gonna go to green. So Orochi is still keeping it a mystery on what he has on red.
I am intrigued to what Orochi has on red. Because if Syntax wins before red ever happens, then I would be curious to see what Orochi's plan is on red. Whether it's a game-ending chain that he wanted to save up, don't want to do split ammo, or if it's a different strategy. So we'll have to wait and see as this game continues.
All right, well, green 0 from Orochi. And Syntax is going to have a while of his own here. He goes in the yellow. Not red, though. Which is interesting. No red there. I think Orochi will be okay with that for now.
Yeah, that's actually the second wild. So we'll see if we have more coming up. Maybe a +4 to end things, but my friend, especially for the aggression like this, I love to save the +4 for only two purposes. Either defensively when you're way behind, or pretty much use it as the killer move for the win. Because honestly, if you think about it in chess terms, you think of it as a queen, as that was a good ISO. Syntax can play on.
Orochi maybe not as okay with it as I thought here. No yellow, and he's gonna have to draw. Syntax able to keep this one rolling here is on plan A for the moment.
As oh boy. Alright, just off on the West Wind stage. Dan using a power play to go to check. If this works out, it'll be win number 3.
Both are actually
We'll have
very
to wait and see
low.
what the limit has in a moment. But
Both are low on
yep,
cards on that one there. That actually I think is gonna work out for Dan. Yeah.
yep, works out for Dan indeed. The lemon had to draw him. Poof! Dan on the verge of sweeping the 2 seed of the West Wind region.
Not even just that.
And
Player who was in the Final Four in the first tournament here, and Syntax gets to
oh
Uno.
my, what a check from Syntax, but with a 14 card gap, anything can and probably will happen.
I think the big thing with that one though is he just gave 6 additional cards to Orochi. So there's a very real possibility he just gave something that Orochi can use to respond with that respond to that.
Yeah, especially a +4. Especially the +4. None of them have been used yet. And there's plenty of +2s left as well. So it might be a gamble. We'll see if it pays off.
We'll see. I mean, it also depends on what Orochi has. There could be a chance he just ends up having nothing.
Yeah,
But
there's a possibility. It'd be unfortunate, but it's a possibility.
yeah, Syntax is pleading that they can get the win here. Orochi may have some other plans though. We're at 8 minutes so far in this game.
Oh, Orochi is certainly thinking about this one. He knows now this will very likely be plan B.
I mean, there's a chance that Syntax might not have blue. I mean, there's always a possibility of that. But I think for Orochi, I think he will have some sort of play, but he just kind of need to think what he wants to do here.
Yeah,
He's
I
gonna have
mean,
it here now.
remember, yep, here he comes. It's probably something big. Remember that 9-card chain? It took him about a minute and a half.
It
Just
might
type
not
it
be.
out.
It may not be something big. It could be something, but I don't necessarily think it could be something. It may not be something big. It could be something small and simple.
Yeah, like maybe a +4 and something, or a +2 and something. Anything that can either get your opponent more cards, as I called it. Called it. +4, first one of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking for Orochi, possibility would just kind of be something small and simple, and yeah, I would definitely quantify that. Just gonna go with a +4, and then just the red 8 there. Not gonna do anything too crazy on that one, but just kind of the safe play on that one, to just kind of ensure the game keeps going. And Orochi's
And
gonna
just
draw
like
on
that.
red.
Ooh. Maybe
Yeah,
he's just unlucky on red. Possibly a 3-color meta.
I mean, we saw that Orochi was avoiding red up to this point here. He goes for it on the +4 and actually ends up having the draw on his second turn on the red. So ends up not having a whole lot of it. But we'll
Yeah.
see if he can get the switch out.
Yeah, because the 2 ways this is why is because either it's 3-color meta or he's just trying to save the ammo, not wanting to go to a split ammo strategy. It's really one of the 2.
Alright. Syntax still rolling on red here for the moment. Actually ended up getting a decent amount of red from that +4.
We'll see here. For every card Syntax plays, it could become more and more of a heater.
And go switching the green, so gets the switch out. Syntax
We'll
is
see
low
if that
though.
works out.
And it wasn't gonna matter.
Oh, +4, then the +4 right back.
Yeah, I mean,
Dang.
that was definitely one that I'm not really sure. There was a chance that Orochi may just not have had anything there. But Syntax gonna get the win on that one. The switch wasn't really gonna matter. Have the +4 to cover it. The only thing I gotta ask is Syntax whether the +4. Actually, no, the +4 probably was something you got from the +4. Um,
Yeah, it
which
was.
yeah, because I would have because
Yeah.
then otherwise I would have said why would you just hold on to a +4 as your Uno call, but um,
I mean, I've
but
seen
yeah.
some people do that for mind games before, but it doesn't show up often.
I mean, yeah, that's not really the smart play though, but um, it's more of like a flex thing. But anyways, yeah. So Syntax is actually gonna go the other way here. That's kind of I've seen that sometimes with some of the people that end up playing Orochi, like going the opposite way. Yeah, sure, of course. Um, but yeah. So Syntax is gonna go for the no send for game three. It's 1-1. Orochi just kind of wrap up that game. Anything I'm guessing you didn't really have much, and I also do want to ask if you legitimately had nothing on red at the start of that one, because I know you were avoiding that one early on. Only card, the red 0. Okay.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, sometimes with variation, as I said before in game one, one of the disadvantages is you end up having only one card on a certain color, or even worse, you're stuck in a 3-color meta on high tier. That really stings you quite a bit, especially if you have no wild or +4 to back it up.
Alright, so we'll go to game 3 here. Syntax has the call, and he's gonna go for the no send. Once he returns, we will get this one underway. Um,
Imagine if we would have started a game, you came back from the bathroom and literally had a 5-card team for the win.
well, that did happen in the last round. Voiles went it was 5 or 6 against Orochi in the last round, and then just got a 1-turn win. So there is precedent.
Yeah, it's entirely a possibility.
Alright, good to get this one going on the blue one here. Syntax again. That's gonna be, I think, the third game in a row we start with the first play being a switch off the starting color. Goes into
Yeah, I
red,
mean, for
which
game one, it did start a little bit and then the switch, but yeah, early on, switching is a strategy, but for low tier, it's less and less likely that it's anything for fading away a color. Oh.
well, I mean, this goes into the red. Orochi has had some issues on this color to start, and he's gonna cross over into the green. He's still gonna avoid that red. This red has not been. This I don't know. I don't. He might have something on red still, maybe a fade, but I mean, this red has just kind of been not very kind to Orochi so far in this series here. But he's gonna go in the green. And Syntax has a skip, but he's gonna
Hmm.
draw, so no more on that.
We'll see if that works out. I mean, for low tier, it does give the urge for players to be more aggressive on the cards. You have the dead end, doesn't matter. Draw and just hope that your opponent doesn't have another skip on them.
Yeah, that is the one risk with leaving open the skip here, especially on a low tier start. I mean, if they have the skip and they have that lineup there, that could be very, very deadly. So we'll see what Orochi's got. He's got a green 0, so just able to keep the
Play
low
it
on green.
safe.
Does play the 0 also, so that's gonna make it a little bit harder for Syntax to switch.
Unless a top deck can save him here. I think you're right on the ballpark for that one. Yep. Draws again.
You know, Orochi. I think when Orochi's kind of on these low card starts, it's usually a little quicker because there's usually less to like analyze. He's always mentioned that these lower tiers definitely for him is more roll of the dice, which definitely that is part of it. But it seems like the roll of the dice has given him a lot of green here because that's 3 green cards played already.
Yeah, a lot of players do learn from the OG7. I mean, we've even seen some D1 regulars go
Oh,
with
top
low
deck
tier on
wild.
7 all the time, or low tier all the time. I mean, Captain has done very good in that aspect. I've seen Joel, who joined the league about a year ago today. I mean, he does very professional low tier
Well,
more often than not.
well, we have a
I mean,
we have a top deck wild here on the blue. Could this actually line up for Orochi here? This might be exactly what he
hmm.
was hoping to have, but we'll
Yeah,
see.
it's a possibility that it's a fatal switch. Unless Orochi had the +4 beforehand.
No. Okay.
No, this might be good news. Unless if it's defensive play and it's a KT classic.
I don't think it is on an OSend. I just don't think that would be a wise move. But yeah, not what Orochi wanted there.
Hmm.
Syntax gonna be able to play the blue.
Hmm. Fair play. Tied up.
Yeah, Orochi looking to find a switch out of blue here, or maybe a top deck to help.
Hmm. Meanwhile, the lemon finally got the cards he was looking for. Dan switched to green, but that turned out to be a fatal
Ooh.
mistake as the lemon finally starts what could be a possible comeback. Dan still leads 3-1.
Orochi gets a top deck +2 here. That's gonna help him a little bit. Leaves it open for the moment though.
That might be dangerous, more dangerous than the open skip. But we did see it
It's
not being taken advantage of last time with a skip. Maybe it'll be the same with a +2.
I don't know. I think with how low with how little both players have, I think that's just kind of the move you got to make there. Because for Orochi, you really don't know what the hand ends up being, especially with so few cards played to this point. And
That's
maybe that
valid.
+2
And
gave a plus. I mean, that +2 could have gave a +4, but that
oh,
also could have been a +4 that could have lead up to a finish here. So we'll see. But I mean, that's definitely going to be a warning shot there from Syntax as he's going to throw 4 more cards towards Oroshi's way.
yeah, that very well could be a defensive +4, or it could be a heater for another big card he has on tap. It could work out either way, so you really got to think about this when you're Orochi at the moment.
I mean, Orochi so far has not been feeling great about the cards he's been getting. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a similar situation here. Um, but we'll see what he has here. It's gonna be 9 cards. He just got +4, so he has a few more new cards in the mix. But he could just be a sitting duck here. We'll see. Yeah, just blue 8 here. Syntax looking to keep it going.
It could be the finish, but maybe not.
No,
Oh. Well, that answered my
no,
question from a minute ago, potentially.
no play there from Syntax. I'm a little surprised about that though because he could have played the blue 3 and then saved the +4. So I'm not quite sure on that one.
Yeah, I think it was a defensive +4. We'll see if it went right or went wrong, as Oriachi will change it. Syntax still has the lead, though.
Syntax with a
Back to
crossover.
blue. Damn.
Syntax is making this a little hard to read here for the moment. That could have been a top deck. I would have to guess that was a top deck. They both are gonna draw it, but been a weird few turns here for Syntax here for the moment. Yeah, I don't know. Because Karochi did play the +2, but he also drew. So
Hmm.
I,
I wouldn't
I
be surprised if there was any bluffing on the table, but we don't see bluffing here that often.
we'll see. Another ammo card into a draw here. Orochi gonna leave the skip open. This has been a very weird start to this one. But both not really having much on blue here. It's really gonna just take a switch to kind of get things rolling again.
Might be safe so far. Syntax did draw. And we are back to Draw City with Syntax still holding on to the lead. Or maybe not. Possible top deck wild?
That would seem like
Oh.
that would be the second top deck
Oh.
wilds that he's gotten. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
panning out
you
pretty
may be
well
right
here.
about that one. Yeah, I just saw 2 wilds have been played so far. This is looking good for Syntax to get another win.
Orochi just kind of in a spiral here at the moment. I'm not really sure what this hand's looking like, but
Hmm.
it could also just be trying. Could also maybe have red, but it's just trying to try to find something big to kind of keep himself afloat because his current hand may just not really line up for a win. But
I have seen that be played by a few players before, where they either draw up to a certain number and try to take the lead late in a conceptual way, in a strictly conceptual way at that, or you just draw up regardless what your opponent does, hoping that you can top deck a +4 that you could either play now or at least feel comfortable enough to at least play on. Does Syntax got it to take the lead? He does!
got it on the +4 again. This is the second +4 finish that Syntax has had, so gets it in 9 minutes. Neither wild was a top. Okay, so actually holding on to that then. All right.
Fair enough. We have seen them use Wilds to get out Draw City in the past. And so far, so good with that strategy.
All right. Only thing I gotta ask, Orochi, is are the hands just not really coming together here at the moment? Because I did see you were just kind of drawing. I was figuring, that you were just trying to scramble to find like a top deck +4 or something because the hand was not looking too strong. But just kind of any quick thoughts on that one. What am I supposed to do? Handful entirely full of green and yellows and against wilds. Yeah, I
Ooh.
figured it was just the hand was not lining up. And for Orochi, it has not really been lining up. I mean, all three starting hands have not really lined up. Orochi was able to get the game 1 win because he got some good draws there, but uh, it's just not been going his way in games 2 and 3 here. He's gonna really be looking to try to get something in game 4 here. Otherwise, he's gonna be in a tough hole. But
Yeah.
Syntax gonna go with 6.
That's unfortunate, especially for low tier. The RNG will get you any cards at once in a randomized order. And if you end up having old numbers or anything disambiguous, it is a total mess to try to get out of. And you just have to hope for your opponent to play a certain number or a certain color for you to get a run and hope you can ice them out at the same time.
All right. Syntax gonna open up with a red here. What's Orochi have? Yeah, I mean,
Oh
no,
my
nothing.
goodness. We got something crazy going on in the Westwind region over
Jeez.
there.
Yeah,
Dan put up
Orochi.
a crazy chain, and I don't know if the lemon uses power play for a defensive to try to call him out, or offensive as originally planned, because Dan used a green 6 at the same time the lemon used a power play, so I don't
It's a
know if he
little
was intending
after.
to make it defensive, or he really had something planned, so...
Well, we'll see about that. Orochi is continuing to draw here. This is just not going well for him. This red has been a nightmare so far. For Orochi, he's still drawing on that. And now both drawing on green.
Yeah, This is not a good start for Orochi, but on the flip side, at least SyntaxError is also knocked out. So he's gonna have to be pretty selective on how he wants to get this done and prevent from turning it into a major mistake, wishing he could have went to the other color instead. Back to that two-color meta. Not a great place to be, but it's still manageable if you get the right draws.
Alright, well, both still drawing here. No one with a really immediate finish here to start this one out.
Yeah, I just saw the power play by the Lemon. We'll see how that works out over there. Was that a mistake? Or maybe not? Oh yeah, we'll see at the moment. Oh my! 4-card chain by Syntax. Back to yellow. Or no, on to yellow. Could be one of the colors that Orochi needs.
Yeah, okay. So Orochi's already at 14 here. I don't know. I feel like for him, it's just been really just trying to draw back. He's just not happy with his hand, and he's going to
Oh
continue to do that here.
my word.
I wouldn't be surprised if he has yellow here, but I just think he's not really pleased with how this hand is going. He's just trying to search the deck to get something good. Syntax is just going to keep rolling on yellow, though. Orochi going to switch to
Oh,
green.
got the switch. Well, at work. I mean, it did force Syntax to draw earlier.
Alright, Syntax draws... Orochi, okay. I think Orochi went for that switch there because he wanted to be in a situation where Syntax couldn't run it down. So, both going to draw again. Orochi just
Fair
continuing
enough.
the drawback here. Really just wants trying to make this a higher nut card game, which is where he's more comfortable. But again, these starting hands does not seem like they're really going his way.
Yeah, I mean, if you need to go to more of these unconventional strategies just to try to play some catch up, then so be it. And I have seen some players play this type of game, but morely at the start, where you just draw back, and once you get to like 20 some odd cards or something very high in relation, then you may have something that you can run the lead back and steal the game from under the rug. And that is possibly a strategy Orochi might be aiming to. Yellow.
Goes to the yellow here. I wouldn't be surprised if Orochi goes to the limit with 25. But we'll see. Orochi, Syntax is gonna switch to the yellow here. Definitely just kind of holding on to the leads. Orochi is definitely gonna try to put himself in a spot where he can just kind of play defense here. But yeah, again, it's kind of been one of those starts here where Orochi is kind of putting himself in the back and just trying to control try to control Syntax's game here a bit with the cards, but both are gonna run yellow for now.
Score update from Westwind. The Lemon is continuing the comeback mission here. Regardless if the power play was a mistake or not, he at least put it to good use. Cause now he's only still behind 3-2. We'll see if he forces a game 7.
Let's switch the red here. Syntax gonna go. I think Orochi is looking to go here now. But yeah, we'll see what he has. We'll see what Syntax is gonna try to do to get to the end.
At the moment, looking at the history, no wilds, no +4s, and no numbers on blue. So I'm thinking, if I'm Oriachi, unless I have something big on blue, how do I find a way to force Syntax away from blue, which could be where he could win, potentially, as he switches back to green?
I mean, that might not necessarily be the case. There could be a situation where there actually really is not a lot of blue in play at the moment. I mean, we're seeing a good amount of yellow here. Orochi tried to get it into green, but Syntax crossed it over to the yellow. I mean, we were running a red for a bit too. I wouldn't be surprised if there's actually not a lot of blue in play at the moment. And another
That does
crossover into red.
as
So
well.
so we're back at where we
Yeah.
started.
Yeah. Basically, you may have it right on that one because it might be a bit too early to call on the Windows Pandora's box open. I mean, we did see game one where one color was barely played at all except for literally one card, so you may be onto something here. We might be seeing that three-color meta again.
Both drawing on red here. That second switch was not what Syntax was hoping for there. There could be a possibility that Pandora's just never opens. I'd be surprised if it doesn't, but I don't really know if a lot is in play at the moment in either player's hands. If it was anywhere, I would think Orochi's, but yeah, I think for now, Syntax just trying to find his way. Orochi's just kind of trying to make Syntax draw and trying to just kind of reload up and whatnot. So
Yeah, and something else that you gotta mention here with the Pandora's box. Yeah, I'll also be very surprised if Pandora's box like rarely never opens. It was only teased by action cards, but you know, in theory, if cards keep on drawing and drawing and drawing, then there could be an opportunity for Oriachi and or Syntax just to open Pandora's box because after so many draws, there's a valid chance that blue may not be the only color they have left afterward. Ice them out, and if you're Syntax, you go for the win. If you're Oriachi, you ice out your opponent, catch up, and try to get yourself back on even grounds, specifically on blue alone.
Alright, well, draws were coming out from the red, but now we have us play on green, which we saw Draw City on earlier, but gonna be able to play it now.
Yeah, we'll see because we did have plenty of draws on red, and even though we did see plenty of draws on green earlier, there is a possibility that somebody can make an escape here.
I feel like Syntax is gonna be trying to make that escape here. But Orochi taking a second to think what he wants to do next.
I'll also not be surprised if Oriachi will try anything he can just to play defensively until he has nearly every good card up there, because that would be unfortunate to. Oh, back to red. Yeah, back to what I was saying here. Like, it'd be unfortunate to go down 3-1, especially when you have at least a couple of good cards lined up towards the end. Then you just bonk yourself in the head saying, why did I not use these any earlier?
I think Orochi's trying to play he's trying to play God here in the sense of not letting Syntax get any further. Kind of controlling what we can and can do. Which I mean which can work if done right, but I think for Orochi it's kind of when does that opening go up when he can take like the more go on offense, cuz right now he's just been playing defense most of this game here, which I mean it does work to prevent your opponent from getting the win, but
Oh
you have
my
situations like
god,
that
what
where
the?
you have that but is that I'm not sure what I see the red +2 but then we have a few
Hmm.
more other cards here. Two of them can't play. Yeah, okay, there's a
Maybe it was
+4.
meant to be a +4?
Yeah,
There it is,
+4.
+4. And that
So
is
that
actually going to come in the comeback territory
there we go.
because basically, Voyos put up the Uno table. We got to know what could be a 24 card comeback
Yeah, 24 cards. No, that's fine. I got it. 24 cards. On that one. Yeah, I mean for Orochi, the thing with this one is technically he can only draw one more time before he has to play. But I feel like he's gonna have something going here.
Yeah, the aggression has turned up big time.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what Orochi does here. I mean, he's just kind of been playing back, kind of holding back here, and just kind of playing more defense. But
Oh
let's
boy,
see what
score
Orochi
update. We are going to game 7. D Lemon, one game away from pulling a 3-0 series comeback against Dan.
looking for a reverse sweep on that one. Because this one keeps going. Orochi taking a minute. We're at 12 minutes 37 seconds here for this so far. Yeah, I don't know. I think for Orochi it's thinking, but also potentially a little bit of frustration here. I don't know if he necessarily wants to be in this kind of style at this moment, but he might just feel like he doesn't have much of a choice with kind of how his hand's playing out. But he has 24 cards. Took a minute to look through it all. We'll see what he's gonna come out with to try and make this card come back, but definitely a big disadvantage at the moment for Orochi in terms of the card distance, but maybe in terms of the cards he actually has. Could have something, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, he has 2 options, or really 3 options in the matter, all of them at different levels of aggression. Do you play it calm by playing any sort of number? Do you try to go at least a little bit aggressive, whether that is a series of skips, reverses, maybe a regular wild here and there, but I feel like that'd be unlikely in this situation, unless if it was back to maybe red theoretically, or 2 or 3, I mean. You play it a +4 or you play a chain of +2, say, bring it on, my friend. We're going to even up this table and keep on playing the defensive method that Orochi has been playing all game so far.
Okay, yeah, I figured it was gonna be just a switch into red. Orochi's been very conservative with what he's been doing so far, so I figured there was gonna be some sort of switch to red, or Syntax is gonna have to draw again, but um yeah, now
Great
what does
defensive
Orochi do?
play.
Okay, he's gonna keep drawing. He's gonna try to use this um leverage here a bit.
Hmm.
Another
Oh
top deck.
my goodness, that's going to force the hand on something.
Oh, let's see. We'll see. We shall see.
Once
I mean,
again,
Orochi can.
Syntax doing a good job with the heaters. He has that strategy, G. The wild usage has benefited Syntax massively, which unfortunately for Orochi has been unable to reply to the wild. Oh my goodness!
That's not really that surprising. I figured he had at least one of those in there.
Fair enough. Fair
I
enough.
mean, I mean, Orochi's playing this defensive, which I mean, it does work, but he can't necessarily be doing this forever, because at some point he's got to find a way to get to the end there. Because um, game winner is whoever gets the 0 cards first, not kind of who can run the game the longest. So he's gonna have to at some point figure out a way to switch the gears here. He's gonna keep going with the defensive for now, but um,
Yeah, but he's
yeah,
going to be running out of room shortly because he is back up to 22. But luckily, we're not in that danger zone as of yet, as now he goes up to 23. But as of now, keeping him at bay. But as the cards run out, he'll need to find a way to turn the defense over to offense. The momentum shift is not easy in this league, especially if you're behind by a crud ton of cards.
keeps drawing back here.
24.
Mm, Syntax have some? Does Syntax have something? Syntax gets a top deck
Oh
+4.
my goodness.
All right. Orochi can't now. Orochi can't draw for a few turns here since he's been on 25. He's at 20.
Yep.
The comeback's now 28. So, adding
Yep.
more to that. But
The biggest comeback for those who are curious, I believe, was a 36 card comeback, which I think happened very recently in D2.
It happened this tournament, actually, yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say. Like, I think it happened last round.
Yeah. All right. So Orochi's at 28. He won't. He's gonna have to keep playing until he's at less than 25 cards. So, um,
Yep.
yeah. This is
Yeah.
kind of been one of those games where it kind of gets into that rhythm where it's like kind of you lean out the you have Orochi leaning out the carrot here, but not really being able to do much to kind of overtake Syntax.
Yeah, and at this point, he's required to go on the offensive here because there is only one exception to this. And for those who do not recall what that's about, in order for Oriachi to even have any sort of eligibility to draw again, he will
I
need to
um
DM his hand over to the ref. And the ref will have to approve if he is either A, forced to play a card, or B, allowed to draw again. And
I severely doubt that he can't play anything here, to be honest, but we'll see what he does.
yeah, I mean, you never know. I mean, even I came up with rare possibilities earlier, so it's
We
not out
have
of the ballpark.
yeah, that's another one there. This time though, Orochi is gonna have to keep playing though instead of drawing. So,
Yeah, so this is a gamble and a half.
all right. Orochi knows the rules, so he's gonna keep playing here. I'll go to the 3. I think at this point, Orochi is really just trying to make sure he doesn't place the wrong number here.
Fair enough. I mean, this is defense to the max. I absolutely respect that, no problem. So we'll wait and see if the defensive mechanism set by Orochi will force the series to be tied 2-2 exiting game 4.
I think Orochi's gonna need something big here, though. That's the thing, because it's such a big gap, and from what we've seen so far, he's just kind of been set on keeping keeping it defensive. Um, there's gonna be a move at some point where he'll get going. I mean, blue 3 switch there. I mean, that could be something that leads into it, but Orochi gonna keep rolling.
Hmm. Pandora's box has been opened. This is a decent gamble, but remember what I said minutes ago. Oriachi could potentially be using this, betting on a fact that Syntax may have more than one color and or has no ammo that can connect them to another color to win the game. So we'll see if that theory works out for Orochi, or will SyntaxError run away and make it 3-1?
Alright, well, it is Orochi's turn here, so we'll see what he does. I mean, he's been liking this red for a while. This is the first time he's switched it out of red. Gonna just play it cool with the numbers for the moment. Syntax with no
Here
blue.
we go. This is working for Orochi so far, but it's still early.
All right, and I think Orochi's gonna get things going now. So gonna play on the blue here, especially with Syntax having the draw. And Syntax actually goes into the yellow.
And the thing with Orochi is, I think he's trying to run through all the plans here. I mean, exhausted plan A, plan B, probably even exhausted plan C at this point. But in order to win the game, sometimes you have to go through every single plan out of the wazoo all the way to plan Z, and maybe even then, you'll finally have the win that you've been looking for all this time.
I I
It's
think
back
with
to
this
blue.
is now here's the thing with going with this. Orochi's gonna have a lot of options here, and I think he's gonna be pretty set on what he wants to do here. For Syntax, it's gonna be a question of what his remaining hand ends up being. He does have another blue here, which he'll play, but um, I'm gonna be curious how Syntax approaches this per se, especially with the card lead. I think I think I have an idea of what Orochi is going to be looking to do here, but for Syntax is really going to depend on how he's approaching it.
Mm,
But
Yeah.
Orochi gets the blue he was wanting before. Syntax does have an extra blue he ends up playing. We'll see what Orochi does next.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a chance that the blue 3 may have come from the top deck before he swapped it to yellow. That might be a good card.
Yep, blue 0. I'm going to make it hard to switch, and Syntax will not.
Yep, did not want to see anything like that happen again, especially if he wouldn't have been able to self-diddle himself again. I gotta say, self-diddling is a great counter to color switches by your opponent, so great move so far to get him back on the offensive here.
Alright, gonna keep rolling on the numbers here. Slowly rolling down.
Looking good so far by Orochi.
Yeah, and I think this is kind of the spot where this is where it leans towards Orochi being in a actually decent spot with this, because this is where he'll start going. I mean, it's gonna take a bit though, because he's gonna play it a bit calm for the moment, but I mean, when it gets like he's at 20 now, 19, but then it's gonna be 15, 10, and then it's gonna be low 8, 6, and then it gets kind of really scary, for Syntax. But Syntax is gonna get the switch out of blue, goes in the red.
Hmm.
Both blue sixes have been
We'll
played, so no switch back for Orochi unless it's a wild or some kind of run back into blue, like a skip or reverse
see.
chain.
There is one wild left in the deck. So we'll see if it comes to that. I'll be surprised if it does, but I guess anything to keep Syntax out of A at the very least, as he'll be playing it calm.
Alright, rolling with red for the moment.
Orochi counting it down here, now down to 18 cards, closing down the gap. I mean, it was an over 20 card gap earlier. Now it has come down to a 12 card gap now.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the thing where like, you got to play it right, this kind of strategy right to make it work. And I mean, at the moment, Orochi's in a good spot where she can make it work. Um, it's a long game, 25 minutes now, so this one goes on the board in terms of the game column. I would not be surprised if this goes on the series column because we're probably getting close to an hour here. But
Yeah,
oh
I
yeah,
mean,
also
most to all.
the West Wind Regional is over. Dilemon gets the comeback win, so a reverse sweep there. Dilemon still stays alive in the bracket. So crazy comeback on that one. Unfortunately, it looks like the plus fours went Dilemma's way towards the end of that game 7. But yeah, big one for Dilemma here. That's another one to the book. Unfortunately, another heartbreaker for Dan there. Comes up short there in game 7, but going back to the Southwind regional. This will be this is going to be the last game of the night because White Spider and Odin unfortunately had to be moved. So this will wrap it up the night. But yeah, we're gonna keep it
Yeah.
rolling here on the blue.
Yeah, and it looks like for the Lemon, he'll be playing the winner of Gabriel Limestick, which that one is actually on stream, so stick around for that one.
Well, yeah, that'll be the last stream of the round. The next stream is tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. One of the rare cases I can do at 9 a.m. on a Thursday. But yeah, we'll see who wins that one. That'll be the Eastwind regional stream. Going back to this, we are on yellow. Syntax plays the yellow here.
Yep. And for Orochi, he does play on yellow here. I knew that at some point in time, you have to eventually go to a color that you know your opponent has very much of to potentially end the game. So we'll see if he has anything cooked up to try to play a little bit of defense while trying to run the cards down to the win.
Zero play there on the yellow one. I do expect this to be a decent long game here. March has been really trying to navigate this right to make this strategy work, and he's in the spot where he's in a good position to be able to do that. But we are on yellow now, and Syntax is able to keep it going on yellow for the moment.
Yeah, you really have to hope for Syntax to find a dead end here and quick. Syntax now down to 3.
Orochi's been playing it very calmly so far, just kind of rolling with numbers here.
All it does is add the possibility of how much ammo he really has in there,
Or how little
waiting to
ammo.
pour it all out.
How little ammo. There could be a chance where he doesn't really even have that much ammo in the first place. He's going to switch the blue here and force the draw out of Syntax. So blue seems to be a pretty safe color for him at the moment.
That is a fair assessment because I do take a look at the ammo you use in the card history right now. Reverses on red and yellow out. Blue and green still there. Only 3 skips played so far, excuse me. 1+2 has been played so far, so I don't know. There's a possibility that either player could still have a decent amount of ammo to the end. For Syntax, more likely now. Oh, but oh boy. Oh boy.
Got a crossover in the green now.
I'm feeling a little antsy about that choice, but we'll see if it's a good choice.
Ooh, double play there.
That has to be a heater. That could very well be a heater right there. Yeah, the reason why I started on green a little bit was because it was a while since we had green earlier in the game. And I was thinking on card comeback mode, the last color is usually a color that you would try to go out there for the win. And especially being this far behind, it is certainly a choice, but we'll see if it works out for Orochi in the next couple of turns.
Orochi thinking through this one, has 11 cards left. Trying to make a comeback of 28.
Could be the color Orochi needed. We'll see.
Did switch on to it. I don't know. We'll find that out in due time. Over 30 minutes, over half an hour on this game here. Been a long one. And yeah, this was also the reason I suggested this one be after the other stream. But 3-card play goes in the blue. Looking to have that safe haven of blue.
We'll see if it
And a
made a
+4,
difference.
yeah.
It doesn't make a difference. My goodness. I bet that was well intended, but I knew I was nervous when he went to green. Didn't think it would end that way, and I didn't think a fatal switch would go this way technically. But ouch.
That's the
Tough break right there for Orochi.
I mean, that's
Tough
the thing.
break.
That's the big risk when you kind of go for that full defensive mode because like then Orochi played that very conservatively. He did not use a lot of ammo in that one. I'm not really sure how much ammo he would have had in that case per se, but I feel like there could have been something there. Played it a bit too conservative. Wow,
Oh,
not much.
yikes.
Actually, not even that much in the first place.
Yikes. Yeah, that. Yeah, that is really unfortunate. I'll take a look here so far in relation for the ammo. I mean, Orochi 3 well, Syntax 5 for plus 4s. Syntax has tripled the plus 4s to Orochi. Let's see. Orochi and Syntax are fairly close on reverses and skips combined, but Orochi only one more plus 2 than Syntax, but obviously that gets outweighed by the plus 4s that Syntax has been able to find at nearly every game.
Yeah. I mean, that's a brutal hand for Orochi to work with. I mean, he was just kind of working the numbers there, but I think in that case, obviously that's tough to work. It's tough to work around it, but got a little too close to the sun. In that moment with the numbers there. Unfortunately, this green switch was going to be what would do him in. I'm curious if Syntax had the plus 4 for a while or if that came in recently. Because I think for Syntax in that situation, he did need to hold on to something there to get the win. Because if he kept just throwing the ammo left, right, and center, that was going to put him in a bad spot. No matter which what I think he was doing early on. But
Hmm.
Syntax just got the plus 4. Okay, so ended up
Yeah,
getting a good draw.
and
Um,
unfortunately for Oriachi there, sorry to cut you off there, but when you're trying to make that comeback, especially with playing also many numbers in a row, it becomes an inevitability, more and more likely, that your opponent would have a heavyweight card that can really do you in if you make one certain switch. And unfortunately for him, while making that comeback, that's what exactly happened. Didn't look like a fatal switch, but it really did become of such a turn later. So I feel like for Orochi, he just needs to hope for better cards, better ammo, maybe finally get another plus 4 in the game to give him a shot to get back in this thing. But we have seen weaker hands get victories before.
Yeah, I think the problem for Orochi though is he's just not been really getting anything. At least at the start of this series, game one was really the exception where he was able to get something on the draws, but since then just completely nothing. So this has been a very rough series so far on the cards for Orochi. He will have to call for game 5. I do expect him to go back to high tier here, but um, yeah, 14 cards gonna run that again. It's just kind of been one of those rough series here, and I mean, has been doing anything he can to just try to stay in it, but just not really much going the way he needs to. But we go to game 5 here, and we start with the red 0. Um, we're at an hour 8 here for the series in terms of game time so far. But Syntax
Yeah.
3-1 here. Roach looking to make the comeback. We just saw a comeback in the Westwind regional here, so looking to have another one in the south.
Yeah, I must say, I do not mind going down to Comeback City. We have seen some comeback matches in D1 and D2 where they have been arguably some of the best of the year. Now, I know this is very early, so I might have to bite my tongue here a little bit, but my goodness. This is a pressure-filled match all around, and funny enough, we had a game that had 69 minutes. This will be the longest series of the night. So, somebody said it might be 2 hour series earlier. Well, they might be getting somewhere with that statement, especially if we go into 7 games.
All right. Syntax mentions the pit in his stomach is growing, so maybe some nerves coming into the picture here for him. Orochi gonna start this one out here. For Orochi, definitely praying he has something in the hand here because it's been whole load of nothing on these starts so far. Gonna just open up with a red 7. One of the few times we have not had a switch right off the bat here on the color.
I don't mind a calm start, if I'm going to be honest with you. Just too bad that we haven't had any action card or wild to start yet.
Red 7, red 5. Both front and red to start this one out. Orochi is typing a bit here, trying to line up next play. Both running on red for the moment. And switch the red, and nothing from Syntax there. Gonna have to draw. And he does get a top deck here, and Orochi looking to maybe have a few more draw tactics here. He did double down on the red 9 and drew with the Syntax with the top deck. Alright, Orochi gonna switch the green. Trying to get out of that red for the moment. Looks like both will be out of it, and it's gonna be a ditto play here, so looking at a 3-color game here for the moment.
Sorry, I was looking up some background information on a potential match in the next round, assuming Sam wins, but more on that later, as looks like we are still tied 10-10. Orochi in control.
Alright, crossover into the yellow here. Orochi trying to control the colors. And it's gonna end up in a double play here for Syntax to take the slight lead here.
It looks like a 2-card play by Syntax. We'll see if Orochi can finally have something, because especially with this being match point for Syntax, it can basically be power play territory at any time, so this does up the urgency for Orochi here by a bit.
Alright, yellow 8, yellow 3, rolling the yellows here. Syntax just mentioning he forgot power plays existed.
Me and my big mouth.
Alright, tied up 6-6 here.
Hey, at least it can't be as bad as last time, right?
I'll switch the blue now. Both kind of just trying to find their way here. Orochi very much wanting to try to get this game win.
Absolutely, because I mean, as soon as you get a one wall behind, you can build that momentum towards the series comeback. We did see it out earlier. We very well could see it again here, because you know one of the golden rules of Uno: no lead is safe. So we'll see what Orochi has on blue potentially.
We'll see. Taking a second to think through this one. And going to be a 3-card run into yellow. That will give him the lead, and that will also switch it over into the yellow. So we're going back to yellow.
This could be for multiple reasons here, but good news. Orochi could possibly use this to build his momentum. We'll see what he can do here.
And that's going to do the game there. So Orochi's going to get one on the board here. Going to get one back. Makes it 3-2. Syntax mentioning he had nothing there, so not going to have to finish. But Orochi gets one back here. Quick before we go to game 6, Syntax is going to go back low with 7, but Orochi, quick thoughts here, just kind of being able to getting on the board again here, and just kind of how are you feeling throughout that game here, especially with getting what it seems like maybe a few extra cards here after so far in the series, besides game 1, just not really having much to work with. Thoughts are there has been a game where the person with the better cards didn't get a free game win. I'm hoping for those games where be up in the air. All right. Interesting breakdown on that one. I think that's one that could be understandable because I mean Orochi got some big draws in game 1 and then Syntax kind of rolled in game 2. Game 3 was the no send but found the way through there, and then game 4 we saw Orochi's hand be all over the place. And then game 5 we just saw with the 3-card finish, and then Syntax mentioning he had nothing. So yeah, nothing that's been really a 50-50 split so far. We'll see if we get one here or if it'll be another one. For Orochi, if it's not a 50-50 split, he'll be hoping it's in his favor for sure to force game 7, but we'll see how this goes. Syntax is going to go back low with 7 cards, the OG send, so we'll see. Or not the OG send, the OG start. So yeah, we'll see how this one goes. No power plays have been used yet also, so when does that come into the equation, we'll find out.
This could certainly up the urgency here because obviously if you're Syntax, it's pretty easy. But for Orochi, you have multiple options with the power play. I won't be surprised if he uses it this or next game. So we'll wait and see what the urgency is for Orochi, especially with his card starts. Because remember, especially on low tier, practically just nothing. Need to rely on draws, and this might be Syntax, who could be relying on draws.
No green off the start here. What does Orochi have?
Good question. Could be the rolling of the tide. Now coming to Orochi's favor coming up late, but I don't want to jinx myself here. Oh my, looking good so far for Orochi. Down to 5, 3-card now, 4-card lead already.
I'm gonna draw here. Orochi off to the start he was hoping for at the moment, but will it continue?
Unless Syntax draws some cards here, that could be good for him. The momentum may certainly be going Orochi's way as he switches to blue.
It's gonna be a good switch there for Orochi. That would, I think, free up Syntax, but Orochi able to get it rolling here, and that is gonna completely blow up in
Oh
his face. +6 into
my!
yellow.
Ouch! And just like that, I mean, I said it right beforehand. The only way Syntax would really try to play catch up is to immediately have the cards to pretty much flip that momentum upside down, and just did that. Now a 5 card lead towards his favor.
Yeah, I mean, Orochi kind of stepped on a landmine with that one with the blue. That's kind of a tough one to be able to see ahead of time, especially with how early that happened in the game. But Syntax completely flipping the table here for the moment. Orochi with 6 extra cards gonna have to figure out what he's got to do with them, and if he even has anything good to work with in the first place.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. I mean, every time you give somebody a +2, +4, or especially 6 or more additional cards, you're really running the risk of any possibility of some great cards. Good move by Orochi. Great move there.
Yeah,
Go back to a color that your opponent has next to nothing on.
yeah, and that's gonna be the right move there. Syntax with nothing on green has he showed earlier in the game, so Orochi gonna try to play around this. Yeah, gonna kind of just lean back into the draws here. Syntax with the top deck green.
I think Orochi is slowly getting the cards he needs to finally be able to play offensively to his playing style. I know he has been highly analytical, but unfortunately, those cards just haven't been in his way in the first half of the series. Now that he is starting to get some sort of momentum, there's a fair chance he could force Game 7 and really open the door for a comeback victory.
Orochi taking a second to think through this one here, whether he draws or maybe does something else.
Hmm. We'll have to wait and see here.
Ooh, he's gonna switch it to
Oh
red.
my.
Crossed over the blue though, from Syntax.
Hmm. Maybe those blue cards was a fade earlier, or maybe he must have picked it up while stuck in green. We'll find out in just a moment here.
Alright, well, that changes up what Orochi was going for most likely once again, so we'll see what he decides to do, because let's just roll with blue here.
We'll see if he's playing calm. Either may have walked into the trap that Santax may have laid earlier, that defensive +6. Down to 3 for Santax.
Yeah, Syntax wanted to try to have this series wrapped up here in game 6 here. Orochi trying to extend it to 7.
And
Syntax get the power
that
play.
could do it.
Blue 8. Looking for the double play here to finish this one off.
Might be fade for the win.
It's red.
Oh, yep. Upset
Didn't do it.
City
Well, didn't type it right.
again.
Well, not yet. Not yet.
All right. Okay.
Now it's over. All right.
There we go.
All right. There
Oh
it is.
boy, close call right there.
All right.
Oh
Well,
boy.
fortunate end for Orochi there, but Syntax gonna able to get the win, and that actually ended up being the quickest game of the set there. But Syntax gets the win 4-2 and moves on. Orochi unfortunately just did not have the cards go his way tonight here, and will not get this one. But you know, I think for Orochi, it's still at 3 wins on the season, so I mean, he's still in a good spot at the moment. When we get to the first rankings of the season, he will definitely be ranked per se, but I know Orochi gonna be disappointed with this one. Was hoping for a bit more there, but the cards just were not on his side tonight here. But yeah,
Yeah,
he'll be looking
I
to
can
bounce back
feel.
strong in T3.
Yeah, I can certainly feel the pain on that one there. I mean, you thought you had the skills, you thought you had the skill advantage, and out of all the Uno leagues out there, MRE is pretty much most likely where skill would be required. But either way, at the end of the day, I mean, the luck factor is still prevalent. So, really an unfortunate end for Orochi. He still had a great team one he can rely on. It's just unfortunate, regardless of what the scoreboard says. Even if it's slightly lopsided, which I do think it's like slightly lopsided, I mean, it could be a lot worse. But either way, tough break for Orochi. He still has a good start coming in. I do agree with you. He will certainly be ranked, and he will not have to make up too much ground if he wants to contend for the D2 championship at the end of the season.
Playoffs at least. D2 championship, not sure about yet. Just kind of depends on how T3 goes, but yeah, we're gonna go to Syntax here for just quick thoughts. Got the win in a decently long one, 1 hour 20 here, but you come away with a win 4-2. You move on, continue your great run in your debut tournament here into the round of 16 here. Just kind of your thoughts on the series overall, what you did well, what could have been better, and just kind of how are you feeling getting another win under your belt and keeping your run going.
I think my heart's beat enough for an entire day in that one match. I during the reveal show, I said I was gonna be prepared for anything. No, I wasn't, but I still somehow got the win thanks to the cards being in my favor. Earlier in the stream, I said it just comes down to who gets the luck, and I got the luck in this one. And Orochi, you played great. You did everything right. Just the cards weren't there for you, and I'll be excited to see what you do in T3. Truly. But onto the round of 16 for me, I guess. Whew.
All right, thank you. Orochi, gonna go to you quick for any kind of just general thoughts. I would say what went wrong, but I really kind of all know the answer to the cards. Just really was not on your side for a majority of the series here, but just kind of any thoughts in general here, kind of moving forward. Also, yeah, make sure to leave a post-game quote when you can. Okay, we have a very very long quote here. I'll read this one out here. Fortunate doesn't begin to strive curious. This game rewards fun like nothing else. Come on, convince this is point. Gank tool, potential opponent, changing times the last night. Lose word possible. Preparation is very play with spirit lost. Don't see the reason to continue engaging in activity. Where's control? Oh, this is I think this is a copy pasta.
This might very well be a copy pasta here.
Because I was reading
But-
it and I saw I'm done with competitive Pokemon.
Yeah, that's honestly crazy there. But either way, I can feel the frustration on that one. I mean, especially when you lose. I mean, this is why, for word of advice, I mean, if there's any advice I do give for like lopsided ammo wins on this one, I mean, when you feel bad at yourself for losing on a lopsided victory like that, then it's also best to use it in practice, or if you beat somebody in the same exact circumstances, to pretty much give remorse to your opponent. And I think Syntax has definitely given that remorse to his opponent, because you never know, what if it ends up being you and it ends up getting nailed by some sort of ammo distribution. So I definitely feel for Orochi, and absolutely assuming that Orochi doesn't run into any lopsided losses like that in the future, he will certainly be a contender to basically be rookie of the season, just like that. And for Syntax, certainly will be a contender for a debutant of the tournament, because I mean, this is a prevalent stat from T2 last year. Both competitors in the finale of Archery April were both 14 seeds, if I'm correct.
That is correct. They were one was a debutant, one was making their second tournament appearance technically. Although technically only 3 debutants are left in this bracket at the moment, but yeah, for Syntax, I mean, it's been a really good start. He's up to 3 wins already. He's now going up against Scars here in the round of 16, who Scars has been having troubles getting out of this round here, so Syntax could continue the run, or Scars could finally break through. We'll see, but gonna be an interesting one. We'll show you the bracket in just a second here. I just need to get it updated, which is taking my lovely time here. I love taking forever to try to get this updated. Yeah, should be done in a second here, but yeah, I mean, while I'm doing this, Cyan, any kind of preview thoughts going into this round of 16 match between Scars and Syntax could be a good one on paper here.
On paper, this very well could be interesting here. I know Scars is probably going to be the overwhelming favorite for the win, but you did say it before here. Scars did run into issues in the round of 16 in the past. So for Scars, he just needs to keep his head up and just try to shake off that rust, shake off whichever chains were holding him down. Because if you're able to shake off the chains, then you could be on verge of a true breakout run that can make you a heavyweight contender for the rest of the year. And for Syntax, this is going to be a test. Maybe not a test of endurance like the one that he succeeded before, but a test of wit and strategy. If Syntax can apply from his prior wins here, now all the way to the round of 16 now, then he may have a shot to pull yet another major upset.
All right, well, looking at the bracket here, we got it updated for you. Syntax with the win 4-2 moves on to face Scars here. We'll have one more spot filled out in this Haneman 16 in the Southwind Regional. It's going to be between Rajon and Blue tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. So we'll see who gets the win there. But that'll do it for this stream. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll be back tomorrow in the morning with Lavina and Tim. Lavina, the defending winner, won the February Flurry, looking to get their 8th win of the season and remain undefeated. Tim looking to knock Lavina off and confirm a new champion for Mahjong March. But until then, I'm G-Man. On behalf of my co-commentator, Cyan, our ref, Daniel Voiles, both our players and everyone who came out to watch. Thank you all so much for watching this stream. Congrats to Syntax on the win. We will see you tomorrow morning for some more MRE UNO Mahjong March. But until then, take care, everyone, and have a great night. All right, intro is going.